Did you know that being just one day late with your tax return can get you an instant £100 fine from HMRC? It's a classic trap for UK freelancers. But honestly, it's not even the biggest financial shock you're likely to face in your first year. But don't you worry, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to make this whole process a lot less scary so you can feel confident and totally in control of your money.
And you can be sure you're getting top-notch information here. This whole guide was put together for you by the expert tax advisors over at My Tax Accountant. These folks help freelancers just like you get this stuff right every single day.
You see, that £100 penalty for being late, that's really just the start. The biggest shock that hits almost every new freelancer is something else entirely. It's a surprise that can seriously mess with your cash flow if you're not ready for it. And you'll definitely want to hear this part. But we'll get to that in just a moment.
To make sure you steer clear of any nasty surprises, we're going to walk through what a typical first year looks like. Think of it as a journey, from that very first sale you make, all the way to paying your first tax bill. We'll be pointing out all the common mistakes, so you can just sidestep them completely.
So here's our plan. We'll kick off at the starting line with getting registered. Then, we'll break down what actually goes into your tax bill. After that, we'll get into the clever part, smart savings through expenses. Then comes that big surprise I keep mentioning. We'll cross the finish line with how to file everything, and then cover what to do next. Okay, let's get into it.
So, Section 1, the starting line. This is all about what you need to do from the moment you earn your first pound to officially letting HMRC know you're in business.
You know, the first question pretty much everyone asks is, do I even need to register? Maybe you're just doing a little project on the side, testing the waters. So what's the actual rule?
Okay, the magic number to remember is £1,000. This is your gross trading allowance for the tax year. Now, the key word there is gross. This means your total sales, the total amount of money you've billed for before you take off any of your costs. So if you earn more than $1,000 from your freelance work in a tax year, you absolutely have to register with HMRC. It doesn't matter if your final profit is tiny, it's that total income figure that pulls the trigger.
And yep, there's a strict deadline. You've got to be registered by the 5th of October that follows the end of the tax year you started out in. Let's make that super simple. Say you start your freelance gig in August 2024. That falls into the 2024 to 25 tax year. That year ends on April 5th, 2025. So your deadline to register is October 5th, 2025. Trust me, don't leave it till the last second.
The good news is the process itself is pretty straightforward. First, you'll need to set up a gov.uk one login if you haven't got one. Step 2, you'll use that to register for self-assessment online. And Step 3, you just wait for the postman. HMRC will send you a letter with your 10-digit Unique Taxpayer Reference or UTR. Keep that number somewhere safe. It's basically your ID for everything tax-related.
Right, let's move on to Section 2, the bill breakdown. So, you're registered. What taxes are you actually going to be paying? Let's break it all down.
The main one is income tax. Now, the crucial thing to understand here is that this tax is not on your total sales, it's on your profit. That's your income after you've taken away all your legitimate business expenses. We all get what's called a personal allowance, which is £12,570 for the 2025-26 tax year. You don't pay a single penny of income tax on that bit. After that, you'll pay 20% on your profits up to about 50 grand, and then the rates go up from there.
Next up is national insurance. And this is where people often get a bit confused because there are two kinds for freelancers. Let's make it simple. Think of Class 2 as being all about your future. It's a small, flat payment that protects your right to a state pension. If your profits are low, you can choose to pay it. Once you earn enough, you get those credits for free. Then you've got Class 4. This one acts more like a normal tax. It's a percentage you pay on your profits over a certain level.
Okay, now for the fun part, where you can actually take some control. Section 3, Smart Savings. This is all about how you can legally shrink your tax bill by claiming your business expenses.
And I love this tip because it frames it perfectly. Claiming expenses isn't about trying to pull a fast one. The whole system is set up so you pay tax on your profit, not all the money that comes into your account. So deducting your real costs is just part of getting to the right number.
So what can you actually claim? Well, quite a lot, actually. You've got your basic office costs, stationery, a chunk of your phone and internet bills. Travel costs for business like fuel to see a client, train tickets, even parking. Anything you spend on marketing to get more work, that counts too. Professional insurance, any subscriptions you need for your job. And here's a good one. Your accountant's fee is tax deductible. And a really big one for most freelancers is claiming for using your home as an office. You can claim a fair portion of your bills like heating and electricity. Just remember to keep good records of everything.
But what about the really big purchases? You know, things that are going to last you a while, like a brand new laptop. some specialist camera gear, or maybe even a van. Well, you can't just put those down as a simple expense. Instead, you claim what's called capital allowances. It's just HMRC's way of letting you get tax relief on a major purchase over a period of time.
Right, we've arrived at the big one. Section 4, the big surprise. Now stay with me here. This is the single part of the whole tax system that catches almost every single new freelancer out. Understanding this next bit will save you so much stress.
It's called payment on account. Basically, you can think of it as HMRC asking you to prepay your tax. They look at your last tax bill and just assume you're going to earn about the same this year, and based on that assumption, they ask you to pay half of that estimated future bill in advance.
And this is where the shock happens. Let's imagine your tax bill for your first year comes to £5,000. That's due by January 31st, 2026. But on that exact same day, HMRC also wants your first payment in account for the next year's tax bill. That's 50% of your last bill, so another £2,500. All of a sudden, your bill isn't £5,000, it's $7,500. So your very first payment can feel like you're paying 150% of your tax bill. You have to be ready for it. The second half of that advance payment is then due later, on July 31st.
Whew. Okay, once you've got your head around that, we can head towards the finish line. Section 5. This is all about the nuts and bolts of filing your return and a big change that's on the way.
The key deadlines for your tax return are set in stone. If you're still using paper forms, you need to get it in by the 31st of October. But for most of us filing online, the final deadline to get your return submitted and pay what you owe is midnight on the 31st of January. These dates are absolutely not flexible.
Now, looking ahead, there's a huge shift happening in the UK tax world that you really need to have on your radar. It's called Making Tax Digital, or MTD for short. From April 2026, if you're a freelancer and your gross income is over £50,000 a year, the whole game is changing. That single annual tax return, that's going away. Instead, you'll have to use special software, keep all your records digitally, and send updates to HMRC every 3 months. It's a massive move towards real-time tax. Which brings us nicely to our final section, Section 6, Your Next Step. We've covered a lot of ground, so what should you actually do now, and where can you go for help?
First things first, a really important disclaimer. Think of this as a helpful overview to get you started. It is for general guidance only. Tax rules change, and everyone's personal situation is different. So please don't rely on this alone to make big financial decisions. The best thing you can do is always talk to a professional to get advice that's built just for you.
So, after going through this whole journey, from that first sale to that first big tax bill, the question is, are you ready to get your freelance tax right from day one and skip all the stress and confusion?
If you want to be absolutely certain you're doing everything correctly, the best thing to do is speak to an expert. The team at My Tax Accountant are ready and waiting to help. You can give them a call on 0208-570-8531 or drop them an email at info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. For a deeper dive on everything we've talked about, you can read the full article over on their blog. And of course, please do subscribe to the channel for more helpful guides just like this one. Getting your tax sorted from the start is one of the best moves you can make for your business. Thanks so much for joining us.